Hi, this is Jeff Allen, and I want to go ahead and give a walkthrough of a few of the kind of the success stories from machine translation uh, that I've had over the past, I don't know, three decades, and you know, I've given a lot of talks about the inbound and outbound, inward outward translation. Now, you need to go watch those videos to understand, what that is. And I've done some on customized versus non-customized translation systems, automatic translation system. There's some on that as well, which kind of mix in with the whole inbound and outbound translation kind of approaches. But I wanted to. There are the whole area of customization, customized automatic translation systems, which gets mentioned a lot. But the problem is that you never get to actually see this because these are custom. That's costs a lot of money. I kind of want to talk about that because that's what I've done a lot of, and I want to kind of mention these examples to the extent that I can mention them. Okay, there will be points where I can't mention certain companies, but I'll kind of point us where we can kind of see where they might be listed. So give us an idea of what has been done and where that's where we need to kind of focus on the success and what has been done and everything. So I want to point out had to put the list here on my phone because I can't see it because the screen's taken here. I got to look at the screen here, the full video. I got a brand new edit video editing software, so I'm kind of trying to figure it out. And so I'll go back to kind of the first experience in translation systems after having done translation, manually and all that. Was at Caterpillar. I was brought in to be a trainer of authoring, controlled language authoring, plus machine translation as a French linguist. So I was doing double job. And that was deployed by Carnegie Mellon University in their KANT, K-A-N-T project. With other players too. There wasn't just Carnegie Mellon, the translation system of Carnegie Mellon, but the rest of the kind of the software systems or a bunch of things. I don't want to get into all those, but so that was pretty successful actually for the language that we're doing, and that was a knowledge based translation machine translation system. So it was a very specific type of semantic approach to doing those systems. Okay. And we were doing translation memory. We were creating our own translation memory system too, because we needed to work for what we wanted to do. So we were kind of doing our own stuff, which is kind of example based. So we're kind of mixing it, but we were doing our own stuff with that. Then, and then Carnegie Mellon gives me a call one day and says, "Hey, we want you to come work for us now," which is the one that deployed the system. And so they wanted me to go into work with them on the Diplomat project to work on speech to speech translation systems, automatic translation systems for a lot of exotic languages. Okay, to do that, and that was a success for the Pangloss project. I worked on that for a couple of years, and that was for the. I can say it because it was actually stated in our published papers. I can't remember the exact names of things. Department of Defense and Army Research Labs. I think those are the ones that we. Department of Defense and it keeps changing names. The DARPA, ARPA, DARPA, ARPA, DARPA, ARPA, and maybe the Army Research Labs are the three we cited. So Army, Defense, Army Research Project, something agency. Can't remember what it is. I have to look it up. So those are ones we mention, in our papers regularly, the ones we publish. So spent a couple of years on that, doing speech-to-speech wearable systems. Or you work in the wearable part. That was the hardest part. To getting the system up and running and doing that for a few less. We did some of the major international language, but focus on kind of the next unknown language you have to deal with. So then I'll just mention Catanol because I actually got involved at the very end when I was there because I actually met Peter, the guy that was running Catanol. It's the computer-assisted translation for Alaskan Native languages or Native Alaskan language. I can't remember which it was. It's that. And I was on the advisory, became on the advisory board for that. Whereas I wasn't at CMU anymore, and but I was advising on that while I was in Europe and stuff and working elsewhere. But But that Cadenal project was kind of in the late 1990s and early 2000s, okay, for Alaskan, native languages. And when you say Alaskan native languages, it's like it overlaps with Canadian, indigenous languages too. I mean, it's not like there's a boundary and all that. I mean, it's those languages up in that corner of the pocket of, you know, British Columbia and Alaska, that kind of pocket right there. So all those, languages, which are all across actually all of North America. It's just a spectrum of all these languages, of all these native Indian languages that just, it's all over. So, and all South America. I mean, it's just the whole two continents of that. It's just a large spectrum of all these languages going down. But we think of them as being United States or Canada, and the Indians back then didn't care about it didn't matter where they were, just the next tribe over. You want to not get killed. I mean, they were, it's all infighting. I mean, they're all fighting each other too, going back history. But um, then I worked at Eldon Elra after that, but that wasn't actually on MT, but I did surveying of MT. So I did the surveying of all the different MT companies and did a lot of surveys and stuff, and did kind of we advised the European Commission on kind of where they needed language technology funding. So I did that for a couple of years too. So as European Commission was my main customer, because we were helping them advise. It was coming over to B2B kind of thing, so they could do the B2C, and then they could work on the thing and funding and the things and all that. So I guess we could say European Commission was one of my customers. Could say that, yeah, they were. Then I worked at Reverso and Softissimo. So I directed projects there, and I can't really mention what projects I worked on, but if you just go to Reverso, go to the reverso.com site for Softissimo and Reverso, and go to the About Us, you'll kind of see off in the corner the corporate customers they got. So it's kind of those types. Okay, so say it that way. Then went to work at Micom for 6 years, and I went completely different thing. That's all telecom software and stuff. But they did ask me to, at some points in time, to help put into place the kind of the translation workflows and stuff. When I had to do translation, I said, hey, I can kind of help with this, right? Got a background in that too. So, and I did train a number of people, and did some I got to actually do some training of people. I wanted to kind of do training. It was the actual opportunity to actually do it for fun. I do it as a job, but I was actually training people, and I didn't have to worry about trying to get people to buy it and stuff. I just did it. I just trained my colleagues and stuff, and we did some pretty cool stuff. Training people that had never done it before, how to use the software and stuff, and software. I mean, we weren't doing I was just using licensed software that already existed, because I did a lot of software reviews, so I have all this licensed software, so I can train them on whatever I want. And that kind of tested out some hypotheses, things I want to test out, how fast you can train people. And people say, hey, you can't prove how fast you did. I got some colleagues I trained. So, yeah, we do have them. And then I did a couple papers a while there. I actually have more than a couple papers. I did a few papers. I did a few presentations and papers while I was there at conferences. I take days off and just kind of go do it for fun. So, so you can find some papers during that period of time. And some things actually on the telecom industry. I did 2 or 3 or 4. Kind of told you what we were doing. I just how fast you could do it. And those were some of the really cool. If you want to see the custom stuff I was doing now, that's that's the custom stuff done the Micom time. So I'll just say got to think of the ones I did. AMTA 2004, the paper on, I can't remember the extra title of it, on telecom industry, marketing documentation, something like that. Just, you got to look it up. Just AMTA 2004. It's up on the, just ask me for a list of publications. I can send you a list of publications. You'll find it pretty easy. And that's when I was at Micom. And then I did a few conferences during that time too, and that's why I actually did some things like the Society for Technical Communication and other things, and talked about it. And I did a talk with Airbus there while I was at Micom, and went and did a few special invited talks in that CLAW 2003 and stuff. So I got to talk about a number of our things I was working on, because I was doing stuff kind of on the side for fun, because I want to keep abreast of what's going on, even if I was working in a completely different agency, kind of a different industry, because I want to be up to date, and that did help later on. So Micom was a really good that time, and there was a whole bunch of stuff that I was publishing, and I got lots of articles during that time for all my post editing stuff and productivity, just a lot of, probably 5, 6, 7, 8 articles. I don't know how many, maybe more. Probably more. I think there were actually more than I think about it. I was doing my Creel stuff too, the Creel stuff. So I was actually publishing quite a bit of stuff while I was at the time, but I wasn't developing the systems. I was just doing it from a user view, and I had come from the whole thing of I'd working in the development areas, and then I had to flip over to the customer buyers. Now I'm working on the just implementation, the stuff you got. You license it, you use it. You license it, you use it. Out of the box. Hey, just how can you get with out of the box? Now I got the Pro MT. Got the Pro MT in 2005. I got certified as one of their dictionary developers. This is like a 5-day course, and I just did a project report and said, bam. And they sent back 7 questions, and I answered 6 of them off the top of my head. So, and I told them exactly what versions I could find off the top of my head. So, back to from between version 3 and version 7. So I just knew this inside out. I knew that product just inside out. So lots of stuff. Even my 2006 paper on MT dictionary building is like it's the result of that project, or the actually getting that certification. Just my report of how I did that. So just no bluffing. That's kind of one of the I wished I had actually taken, and now you can take it. Now I gave all the data away too, because I had to realize I had to actually make that approval. So that's kind of like the place you want to do it from. And look at the go to that paper in 2006, 2006, 2005, 2006 on dictionary building. I have to look at the exact date. It's 5 or 6. I think it should 2005, because I actually got the certification in 2005, so it's just probably the months later. Then so there's that whole period right there from 2001ish to 2000 and 7ish. There's quite a bit of stuff I published. Then all that stuff got me hired at Systran, and that was kind of I finally got to Systran. Just noted them twice, before, so just didn't feel it, and finally they got me. So it's Systran, and go to the Systran. You can go to the Systran kind of customers, things you kind of see, but hey, I got some of those case studies published, so the ones I can talk about. And the problem is, if you go up the Systran site and you go looking through their, try to look at case studies, you can't find it. But if you go to Google and you search on semantic case study Systran, bam. And if you look on EADS case study Systran, or MDBA case study Systran, you'll get to the download link. Okay, and so the EADS is the European. I gotta think. I remember how it's kind of it's kind of long, the name of it. It's a European Aeronautic Defense and Space Company. Basically, that's the same thing as like Iron Man in the first movie, when he kind of awoke. He kind of decided he got captured and then he got out. That kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that company does. There's 3. It's called MDA, but it's all kind of 3 different missile companies that all kind of got grouped together in 2001ish. So that's why it's an acronym, because it's all these different company names that are short. And then so that's one case study, so you can read that. And if you look up the semantic SYMANTEC case study and Systran and download that one, that'll tell the story of the things we're doing on that too, and the kind of things I was doing. I was kind of working on custom development stuff. Making the customers happy, making sure all the customer support's going well, the training's going well. Training, that is, back then we're in dictionary building, and they were doing it. We're training how to do this stuff, and then we did some custom kind of feature development too, when they're all happy. So so that's and I can't mention a lot of the other companies that were during that time. So, but if you kind of scroll down the list of their customers, you kind of have an idea. Who the kind of people we're dealing with, the kind of customers we're dealing with, all enterprise level stuff. So, and during that time was when that same period, 2 things happened. That was when version 6 came out. So, the version 6 of the that whole the version 6 of Systran came out, and Idiom World Server. So there's a little statement inside of that Sister and Semantic case study that talked about Idiom World Server, which now, that's all became SDL, and well, kind of, they did with it what they did with it afterwards, but that was during that time period. So kind of dealing with the integration between Sistran and World Server at the time. So Idiom World Server at the time. So that all too for customers. Wasn't for Sistran, it's for the customers. And then I went to TransPerfect. Actually, the translations.com side of the business, because they're all just the family companies. It's all the online stuff, software translation, localization, and online web content. So I can't. That's all new business working in francophone stuff, mainly francophone countries, non-Canada. So everything kind of on the all the time zones on Europe and Africa and all that, and so all the francophone countries there. And I can't name the customer. I'm not going to name the customers. I don't want to name them. So, but if you go to the transperfect.com client list, go to the website and look up the client list, it kind of got an idea of where there are, and there are a couple of them there, so that I was working on. So, I'm not gonna. That's all I can say. That's all I want to say. Okay, I like to keep my relations going well with previous employers. So, and had some really successful projects. So there. Sold projects and really happy customers that kept coming back for repeat business, even if one of them did do an RFP during the middle of it and I lost it. Didn't get the RFP because one of my competitors, did a cut through at 20%. Bam! Price per word lower. And I said, I'm not going to cut the word price because I want to provide good service. And you know what? That customer, they kept coming back. So even if they were supposed to go to another provider, they kept coming back. So so that was pretty successful. I'm really proud of that period. It was tough the first year, but the second year, hey, Phil Shaw, thanks for having called me during that second year saying, Jeff, what are you doing, man? Popping off those deals. How you doing it? Phil, repeat business. Repeat business is way cheaper than having to do new business. So got the new business, got it going, and then repeat business. So it's kind of that. And then came to SAP, where I am today. It's been 13 years. Wow, it's been that long. 13 and a half years. And now I'm kind of I didn't come to SAP for all the the translation stuff. I came to do complete other stuff on finance products and financial products and business intelligence products and all kinds of other stuff. I can do all that stuff too. So, and then I had an opportunity about 5 years into. They were doing SAP decided to move away from the rule-based stuff and licensing all these different products that had been talked about in other previous conferences and stuff. So they wanted to do statistical stuff in 2012ish, and so 2013 I should kind of discovered. Say, hey, I'm here if you want me. So we kind of worked it out. So I got to kind of work on stuff. And so today I'm doing. I kind of have a bunch of different things I'm working on, so it's all kind of custom stuff. But what can I say that I'd have to shoot you for? Okay. I like saying that. I'm just having fun. But so my LinkedIn profile says that I kind of work on computer-generated translation and computer-generated authoring and computer-generated translation. And you can think of it as computer-assisted translation and computer-assisted authoring as well. So the natural raw generation stuff, and then when you add the assisted authoring or post editing to it and all that, plus all the pre stuff and post stuff. So just all that kind of stuff. So those kind of things are things I work on in collaboration with the teams that are doing that, because I'm not part of the teams that are actually developing. Well, actually it was in the beginning, but then we had to work on other stuff too. So that's kind of hard when you're not working in the same country where all the others are. So, and they can't, that's just happens. So we make it all work. We make it all work. And I do work on as well on speech technology stuff. So we have a video platform, and I'm done like a 6-month special project just to work on some custom stuff and kind of customizing the whole speech to text process with all the monolingual editing of all those subtitles and stuff. And did a really good thing. That just rocked. That rocked. And I built a special dictionary that we made to override the whole thing. Yeah. Can't show you how I did it, but I can say that that thing's affecting dozens of thousands of videos per year that are uploaded to a video platform getting automatic subtitles. So yeah, that's pretty successful. So, and got a really good percentage, 82%. Okay, I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna say 82%. But 82%. I've broken down into 4 different kind of flavors of bad, and then the 3 different versions of good and best. Let's call it the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So, or the great, the really good, the good, and the bad. Okay, let's say that. So the 82% kind of covered the great, the really good, and the good. Okay, so 82%. I was pretty happy with that. The bad was only like 25%. So of the customization part. So yeah, happy with 82%. I'm really happy with that. So that's just really, and that's all. I'll probably do a special video on that one to talk. I'll tell what I can tell. Okay, so I'll say that. So I don't have to yeah, that kind of stuff. I'll say what I can say. And I do work on that kind of stuff too. And anything has like on speech to text to speech, I get involved in that. And terminology, everything about terminology, kind of getting the corporate vocabulary. I don't use the word terminology anymore. Corporate vocabulary integration. I'm trying to get the corporate vocabulary integration of our database, get it into other places, and then get on the platforms and get it to we're doing term recognition automatically and searching terms and that kind of stuff. So the hard stuff. So automatic term recognition and all that while you're typing and while you're reading and all that, and get some information about the terms that you don't know, terms or vocabulary or whatever. So that's kind of stuff I do. And you have to deal with dealing with licensed stuff and all that stuff. So not everything's homegrown, but there's some homegrown stuff. There's some licensed stuff. Can't talk about much about that. So but having a lot of fun with that. So not just fun, okay? Making it work for customers. I don't just like to have fun. I like to have fun, as you can all tell, but I also like to have my customers happy. That's my goal. It always has been. So I don't think things just kind of when I want to do the fun stuff, I do the fun stuff because I want to do the fun stuff, and kind of do patent stuff for that kind of stuff. I can't talk about that, so right, but I do talk about what I can talk about, and when I talk about is the stuff that's working and having happy customers. So satisfied customers, customer satisfaction. It's all about. Okay, not everybody's happy all the time because hey, we can't all do what we want. Kind of hard to do. Like I say, Star Trek translator, Universal Translator, we're not quite there yet, and everybody thinks we're there. We're not there, and I have to keep reminding them we're not there. So and I keep reminding where we are, and that's a fun challenge. Managing customer expectations, stakeholder expectations of people that watch too many movies. So I like saying that. I watch those movies too. I get the whole collection of Marvel comics, or Marvel, the Marvel videos with my kids, and we watch them all and multiple times. And we've watched all the ends of the movies. We wait to the end after the end of the credits, and then they get the extra scene afterwards. Watched everyone, and there was one of them that doesn't have it, and that's the Shang-Chi one. They didn't have an extra scene at the end. We waited for it. So, so I got all those videos, and so all that stuff. People do watch too many movies. Well, I'm gonna say people watch it and they think that what they see in the movies is what we got today, and it's not. But we're working on it. But we got to remember what we can do and keep that in mind, and not promise to anybody, customers, even hinting that we're going to have that tomorrow. And so I kind of do joke from time to time. I'm serious in my joking that some of the things that I keep hearing about and want us to do, and my stakeholders like me to do, and I do surveys and all kinds of customer requirements gathering sessions and stuff. And when I get some really far-fetched ideas, I say, yeah, that's the fully far-fetched, far future stuff, and I call those the yeah, we'll have that when I'm dead. So, and not that we won't have it, by it's not that it's that with the current pace that we have for investment on this kind of topic in the company I'm working in, yeah, I'll be dead. So, yeah, because we can't do those far-fetched stuff. Okay, I don't want to talk about. Oh yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah, because it's a public thing. Oh yeah, because it's a public session. I can talk about it. Should I talk? Should I tell you what it is? Oh, can I tell you? Should I tell you? I will tell you because it was a public session. So yeah, so the WordShare project with the Gloss Talks, they were all public. We did them as public. So yeah, you were just waiting. You're just waiting me to tell you what it is, right? Come on, tell us, Jeff. Just get down to the point. Get to the point. That's what I'm getting. That's why you listen to this thing. So, yeah. So the far fetched stuff was gesture recognition. That's tough. That's tough. Giving meaning to gesture recognition. Okay. Um, Now that's possible in some places. Some institutes do it. Yeah, I used to work in those kind of places too. But doing it where I'm at, where we are consumers of products, we have to license stuff, or we have to look for stuff that exists already. We're not going to invent this one too, because even the speech stuff, you try to avoid trying to invent too many wheels, because that's pretty tough to do, because you got to have all the data stuff. So you got to, you know, so yeah, I knew that because I was managing on those databases at Elder, right? So yeah, know that, been there and done it, and produced them. So the thing is, gesture recognition is really tough. That was one of the far fetched ones. I said I'm not going to touch that because I want to work on stuff that we're going to deliver. Because then I'll have satisfied customers, right? If we keep telling people, hey, we can gesture recognition, hey, if we can get some robots to make it work, that's fine. But no. And then we have a number of class, and I grouped them together and stuff. And I did some review sessions. There are videos of that. There are actually recordings of that. So that can be made available. Let's say, yeah, and there are links to it up on Facebook. So yeah, at the Gloss Talks page. So come to me. I'll give you the link, or you can just look it up, Gloss Talks. And there are some review sessions and stuff, and I did the recordings of those, and I hope that all the links up there. All the links of all the individual sessions there. So if you want to watch all 15 brainstorming sessions that are all each 1 hour on 15 different industries, then you can hear people talking about all the ideas. So you can actually get them. All the raw data is there. I just kind of grouped together into, consumable Excel sheets and other things, and other cool kind of places where we can group it and vote on and all that stuff, and people vote on it, and we did due diligence. We did due diligence. But yeah, maybe somebody should. Can somebody offer me the opportunity to come talk at a conference about this? Not that I have to ask to do it. You invite me, okay? That makes it simpler for me to get travel budget to get it, okay? So yeah, so that can talk about the Gloss Talks and the WordShare results, because all that was public. So yeah, at least the raw stuff was. I'd have to kind of figure out how to do all the grouping stuff and not share the internal stuff afterwards, but we did that. And then another achievement was we got the SAP glossary is up online right now, all API real time. So all revised, better user experience, at least for the search on the terms. And we're still working on the tough stuff. So can't talk about much about that right now. At least I don't think I can. We'll have to check on that. Okay, so I've just hopefully given you a few ideas of some custom stuff that has worked, and stuff I'm proud of. I'm proud of what I've done. And I think I've contributed to a number of satisfied customers, enterprise level customers, and a lot of freelancers too, and helped a lot of freelancers out over the years. And they put comments up and recommendations up on LinkedIn and all that. So I don't have to, you can find those. That's pretty easy to find. But that's all the cool stuff we can do. And then there was another video I did on my my atypical MT implementations, and that's the really cool stuff. So I've just giving you all the kind of stuff, the companies and stuff, the case studies and all that. But the stuff where it really digs in and really achieves the stuff that nowhere to boldly go where no man has gone before, my atypical MT implementations video. Watch that one. That will you have to you feel like you're in another quantum leap because I did things that no one says we can't do. We're not supposed to be able to do that with MT. I said, you've never done it before, because I have, and haven't. I'm not serious. At like restaurants in a conference, talking with colleagues around the peers or in the industry around it. I say, yeah, but no. They said you can't do that. I say, yeah, but I done it. No. I done it. So no. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. So I get people that customer testimonies of people said, hey, it really worked. So I did a video about it called my atypical MT implementation. You got to watch that video because I'm not going to explain that here too, because that make the video longer than it already is, and you're still listening. So yeah. So that's custom stuff. That's what it's about. It's what about custom stuff. Did a lot of generic stuff, and too, like I said, when you got to deal, I've dealt with the whole thing of doing, and I've also dealt with the thing of doing the whole controlled language, not having it. Part of my career, the first 10 years, can you do the controlled language, and then a part of my career wasn't doing it because I didn't have it. I couldn't access it anymore because I'm not the translation provider side, And now I'm back into the company side, the buyer side, but that's even tougher sometimes. That's even more challenging because then you got to find out who takes care of this. On some product or some content or something, and who manages this or that. That's kind of the challenge when you want to do something like boil the ocean and make it all work, rather than also make it very, very specific, which I tend to do in the custom stuff. You customize it and make sure it's all working on certain things, and then you deal, and then you say scale it, and then we'll talk about the scaling part if it's going to be applicable anymore. This kind of thing, you gotta try to see how much you can do. And I kind of have to use the same approach. Let's scale it, and every time we do it the next time around, we're going to see if we can do it on that thing too. But let's not, it's a fun challenge. Okay, it's contributing to the industry, contributing to making this work, and having fun doing it. And I get to not only do it for major international languages that put food on my table. Yep, they pay for me being able to come to McDonald's and buy this because I'm doing videos. Because why I come to McDonald's? Because I get better background than I do at home. So the backdrop just looks cooler. That's a real backdrop. That's a real wall. So the major internationals do that. That's kind of what's pays for the bills and all that stuff. And I get to do all the exotic languages too, because that's the fun part of doing it for all the other 7,000 languages on this earth that 8 billion people speak. So that's the hard part. That's the fun challenge, and I like doing that because I believe that's the next kind of step is how can we do it for all these other languages. I don't like to do it with the languages that are already been done. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. I like doing it for the hard stuff, the stuff we don't know. Again, to boldly go where no man has gone before, or no person has gone before. I'm sorry, I gotta make that jump, but it's got to cite the movie title. I got to cite what's said in the movie. So, and I actually, did split my infinitive on that one to boldly go because they did. So, these are all the success stories. I haven't mentioned all the ones that I helped avoid train wrecks and shipwrecks. Have done that too. I won't mention those. Actually, if you go looking at my LinkedIn profile, up in my recommendations, you read for all 110 of them, you'll find some that tell the shipwrecks and train wrecks we avoided. So they kind of hint at it. Yeah, or some hint, more than hinting. So there are a few in there. So I won't mention those because you got to find them, and you'll have some fun reading through that. And have not everything's a shipwreck. Okay, not everything's that. Have had some situations too where put a lot of time lots of time, lots of extra time just to do startups that kind of didn't work out because of funding disappeared because of world crises and all that kind of stuff. So that whole that I've been through that too. When you invent like 30 products and 30 services and you put it in a business plan, the thing dies because all the food, all the money is dried up. That's pretty tough, and then it gets locked into IP because you can't, because it just you can't give it, you can't revive it. It's kind of you feel ethical stuff, been there too. So um, didn't want the people that did lose the money out of it didn't want to make money out of it afterwards on them. So they just don't feel that's correct. That's not appropriate. So yeah, that's glad to be able to see things that coming by themselves, and I can say, yeah, we later on, yeah, that's been done before. It's been thought through before in certain documents I can't pull out of my hat. So, um, but so there have been a lot of successes. Do not believe, do not live. I'm challenging all this. Do not. Everybody's going to always talk about the worst stuff, the crap, the junk, the stuff, the laughable stuff. That's what gets all the. That's all that gets all the kind of the publicity and advertising. But there's a lot of great stuff that's being done every day that we just don't see because we're not allowed to show it to you. So because we can't show confidential content, right? So just like a lot of you freelancers can't show content because you're bound by your NDAs and all that kind of stuff, and I am too. So that's why I make deals with certain publishers to be able, when I do some kind of tricky, kind of fun stuff, make sure that I can publish it afterwards. And so I don't get locked in and say, hey, you can't prove it. As I can. So I've been done that a few times. And if you want to see my list of publications, believe me, if you do that, you'll be reading for a long time. So I mean, they're not all geek stuff. I'm warning you. They are a lot of it's pretty, user friendly reading. Um, a lot of it's user friendly reading. There are a few geeky ones, but I just find that the whole geeky, audience is so small that that's not my interest, because there's just like, if only if just a little handful of people can read it, um, that doesn't interest me. I'd rather have a lot of people use it and adopt it, and that's where it comes down to. Um, and if I'm happy, like that kind of stuff, when lots of people are using it, because that's where it's useful. It's not useful for 5 people like her all wow. I'm thankful for it. Thousands to millions are actually using it every day in a tool like Facebook, and Google Translate and Microsoft Translator and Amazon and YouTube and all that, the subtitles. I'm glad when the languages I'm working on are in that, because that's where we're really making it useful and valuable to an entire, yeah, to a lot of people, and not just a few people that are kind of interested in languages, language lovers and language geeks and all those language nerds and all that. So yeah, language lovers. It's Valentine's Day, language lovers. So I'm signing off. Sorry, it's been a little bit longer than I planned, but hey, I don't plan on the length of these things. That's why they're lectures and sometimes not always tips. So, but I do explain the things that I give more information here than you're going to get anywhere else. That's where you're coming to listen to these things. And yeah, they are kind of long, because to explain all this, you got to go through a podcast, or you got to through a thing to hear all these different examples. And I'm just popping them off. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm telling you, go to read them. I've actually given a lot of things to say where to go get it, right? Where some of the people, they'll say, yeah, I remember, I'm telling you exact dates here pretty much, and where to find it. And then you can get the downloadable link, right? So some of the stuff, it's just, the other stuff is, yeah, I'm trying to make sure that everything I've published is available as much as I can find it. Some of the stuff have been published and I just don't have access to it anymore. So I have to look through some old discs. I'm saying discs, floppy disks. Some of the stuff was on that even. So some are on CDs. I had some on CDs, but so this is lots of success stories. Few very few, like I said, catastrophes. Um, and I'm glad that I've been able to avoid having catastrophes. Um, Maybe just because I suck. If I can smell things, I try to avoid that. And I've said no to a lot of things. So I've said no to a lot of things that just smell like. Don't want to get involved in that one because I know what that's going to end up turning into, and I don't want my name attached to it. So there've been a few of those too. And 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 yeah, it's just better to work on things that you know will work. Not saying that the other things are the challenges are always fun. I like challenges. In fact, I'll do things that just no one else wants to do. Um, but I won't work on things that I do remember one time. I don't know if I've ever said this yet. One thing I did avoid, okay? One thing I did avoid. How much can I say about this one? Okay, I'll say. So I can't say, yeah, oh, yeah, I have to. I'm trying to diplomatically say this. So there was one time where there was a customer that I was pulled into a discussion with someone else that was working on the deal opportunity, the opportunity. I was pulled in to kind of advise on it, and I did tell the customer, they weren't a customer yet, they were a prospect. Okay, I did say to them, um, the what you're trying to do, the workflow you're trying to do doesn't exist, and it will not exist for a long time. And they were kind of like, no, you can't say that. They actually said to me, you can't say that to us. And I said, do you know who you're talking to? Do you understand who is in front of you on this phone call? They didn't know. And I said, I've studied you all out. I know who each of you are on LinkedIn, and I'm on LinkedIn too. So, yeah, and I had to kind of tell them, what you're working for. I've talked to all the R&D directors and chief technical officers of several of the main companies that do this, because I've worked for them before. And they've all told me in the last couple of days and trying to like this that what you want won't be around for a while. So they didn't like hearing that. But I told them. And I said, because I don't want to sell you something that doesn't exist. I said, yeah, we did. But again, the company would do it. I said, you let me watch the demo of the company. And believe me, I watched the demo of that thing and I laughed. So, and I gave them a piece of what I thought it was. And I said, honestly, I wouldn't touch that. No way. Because that will ruin exactly what you're trying to do. I think they listened to me. I did listen to that one. I wasn't damaging the deal, so, but they did it another way. So let's say that I believe that they did consider that piece of advice. So I guess I helped to avoid another. Yeah. So would have done it elsewhere, a different way, but I didn't. You know, that was the end. Kind of what we needed me to do was that we didn't want to get into more, and there's a reason for that. I'm not going to go into that. So, um, but but yeah, I would have done it differently if I had been involved in the beginning of that. So completely differently. But but I wasn't. So, and I'm thankful to always be pulled in as early as possible, when it's possible, um, and to kind of give an understanding where we are today. And I don't bluff. I don't BS people. And I'm not going to try to market you and sell you marketing stuff. Okay. Um, I'm a good marketer. I'm a good marketing person, a good salesperson too. I can do that. I do really well at that. But in this kind of stuff, I don't want to I don't want to destroy my reputation. So not in this kind of thing. No way. So yeah, yeah. Be honest, folks. We need to do this. Because there's stuff we can do, stuff we can't do, and and you know this is these are the kinds of things we need to be careful with. So but yeah, we're moving forward. So that's the kind of over. I have no idea how long this video is gonna. I'm gonna probably just when I watch them say, "Dang, it took that long." But yeah, this is again. These are lectures. So this is what you do in a podcast and talk about, kind of brain dumping. So on things that work and don't work. So this is a lot of good content. Then what you can do is, some people, what they can do is they can just watch it on YouTube and they just spit out the transcript and just pull the transcript and you get all and do word searches, right? So yeah, giving some other search I have to do too. So have a good day. Take care.